What is going on, you guys? Rebirth here to bring you the second part to my Orihime Inoue series. If you haven't seen part 1 of this series, look in the pinned comment and watch that video to get a proper understanding of where we're going with this. We're picking up our analysis from after the end of the fake Karakura Town arc, and we'll go on from here until the end of the series, including the little bit we got in the Hell arc. It's been 17 months since the end of the war, and Orihime, like Ichigo and the others, has re-established herself at school and as a student. She's changed her hairstyle, she's grown bigger, and her personality feels more in line with how it was when we first met her. The depressing days of the Wakamundo arc are long gone, and the exciting, cute, funny, and hungry Orihime has made her return. One of the first things we immediately notice is how Orihime is one of the first ones to feel a strange energy around Ichigo. It implies that she's been watching Ichigo as much as she can from a distance. One day, she visits Ichigo at his home and he lets her into his room to chat. The entire scene serves to reinstate Orihime's interest in Ichigo, if it wasn't clear already. She's nervous and fidgety, and once they say their goodbyes, Orihime is still blushing even as she enters her home. She receives a phone call from Ryukin to come to the hospital where Uryu is being treated after being ambushed, and also to heal Uryu as well. The mysteries of the Full-Ring arc continue to expand. Orihime visits Chad to see if he's safe, and this is where she's approached by Shishigawara, who tries to fight her, in what is a re-establishment of Orihime's newfound confidence. She goes from humoring Shishigawara's awkwardness to being extremely serious when she learns that he might have something to do with Chad's disappearance. When Tsukishima makes his appearance, she tries to fight him but is unable to do so, and she gets cut by his Book of the End. The entire gang doesn't want to worry Ichigo, so they don't tell him about the details they know. I never felt that to be the right decision in the moment, but I did appreciate how Orihime at the very least did discuss her situation and encounter with Chad, showing a semblance of maturity on both their parts. She's later called to the Execution Stronghold to heal Ichigo, and here is another example of her improved abilities and psychology. She's in the process of healing Ichigo when Ginjo attacks her. Not only does she block his attack, she deflects it and wounds Ginjo, who is forced to retreat. She very confidently tells him to wait until she's finished, and unsurprisingly, the moment she's done and Ichigo is ready to fight, she steps to the side and very happily has Ichigo continue training. That pride in being a healer and her willingness to take on the role of supporting Ichigo is something I have wanted to see reinstated for a long time. As Ichigo continues to train, we get more re-establishing moments of this new Orihime and her love for food. She and Riruka have an interesting dynamic, with Riruka being a tsundere and Orihime being a very forward, lovable individual. Her attitude throws Riruka off her game, but even she cannot stay mad at Orihime. Once Tsukishima reveals his powers to Ichigo and has everyone turn on him, Orihime and Chad fight together to defend Tsukishima from Ichigo. After Ichigo gets his powers back, we see Orihime's emotional state in conflict. She feels sorrow and pain when she remembers Ichigo crying after losing his powers, and in her mind, she feels that Tsukishima is the cause. However, at the same time, her memories tell her that Tsukishima is not only family, but he has taken the place of her brother in her memories. This conflict overpowers her and her emotions cannot stay in control. She and Chad are then saved by Ishin and Tessai, who take them to Urahara's shop. After they awaken, the battle has been won, Orihime and Riruka have a heartfelt moment together, and the arc draws to its close, ushering us into the final arc of the franchise. At least, that's what we thought at the time. Now, at this point in the story, Orihime has gone from being a likable character at the beginning of the series to someone who became quite a conflicting individual during the Arrancar saga, to then having a, I would say, middling involvement in the Full-Ring arc. And so, in the grander scheme of things, as far as the trajectory of her character arc has gone so far, I don't think it would be crazy to assume that she was still missing that crescendo to allow everything to flow in together. She's still missing that one vital step to validate her choices and to validate the path that she chose to walk. Luckily for us, we get that in the final arc. In the 1000-Year Blood War arc, Orihime is present at the beginning, and then she disappears for majority of the middle part, and then reappears at the end. At the start of this arc, she helps Ichigo defend Yuki and Shino, defeating her own share of hollows along the way. She nurses them back to health, hangs out with Ichigo and the others, and consequently accompanies Ichigo into Wakamundo when Nell approaches them. Inside Wakamundo, Orihime uses her Shunshin Rika abilities to scan the area and check for any surviving hollows, something I found to be a very nice touch. And she and Chad are left in Wakamundo with Kisuke after Ichigo returns to Soul Society. We see flashes of them training in Wakamundo, and Orihime does not return until Ichigo sees Uryu standing with Yuha Baha on their way to the Soul King's palace later on. She arrives and her first action is to shield Ichigo from Uryu's licked Reigen attack. She then follows that up by protecting Ichigo and Chad from the ensuing blast from Yuha's ascent into the Soul King's palace. What this is the beginning of a series of examples where Orihime makes deliberate, proactive decisions to either heal, protect, or shield Ichigo without being asked to. She becomes very decisive with her timing and knowing when to act. You'll see as we proceed, trust me. Before they head back up to the Soul King's palace, there's a very comical moment between Orihime and the others about her clothing. I'll leave that to you guys to debate how you feel about it. I'm gonna move on from there. When they arrive at the Soul King's palace, the device they arrive in tumbles into the air and they fall out. Orihime uses her Santen Keshun to lift everyone to safety. This is another example of her decision making here. When Ichigo accidentally cuts down the Soul King, Orihime tries to heal him, but it is beyond her power. The entire gang then gets pushed back and launched from the Soul King's palace towards the Serite down below. Orihime yet again comes into play and catches everyone, leading them to safety. The encounter Ririka and the relationship between the two girls is re-established before they emerge in the newly overtaken Soul King's palace, now called the Warveld. Now, there's a bunch of stop-start moments here that really aren't largely important. It's just small reactions here and there from characters when something happens at another location. The next time we truly get to zone in on Orihime, in what will become her crowning moments in the entire series of Bleach, is her battle with Ichigo against Yuha. You heard that right. Orihime, the same Orihime who could not do anything of worth in the Soul Society and felt terrible because of it, the same Orihime who could not bring herself to hurt her oppressors, even at the cost of her own life. That same Orihime now stands side by side with Ichigo in front of a door that holds the most powerful individual in the entire series of Bleach. Ichigo stands firm and tells Orihime flat out, "It's 2 against 1. It's kind of unfair, but I'm counting on you to protect me. Can you do that for me? Inoue." This is her crowning moment. This is the fulfillment of the character journey she's been on from the start. It's always been Ichigo protecting her regardless of her willingness to protect him. She's always wanted to protect Ichigo however she could, but she lacked the ability to legitimately be counted on during the heat of battle. If she was ever there, Ichigo or someone else had to worry about their spiritual energy harming her or whatever. This is the first time in the entirety of the Bleach franchise that Ichigo has tag-teamed an opponent. I know that's weird to think about, but consider this. Has Ichigo ever 2v1'd an opponent? He fought Uryu alone, he fought the Menos alone despite Uryu asking him to work together, he fought Renji alone, he fought Jidambo alone, he fought Ikkaku alone, he fought Kenpachi alone, he fought Byakuya alone, he fought Grimjar alone, he fought Ulquiorra alone, he fought Gin Ichimaru alone. He was there while everyone was fighting Aizen, but his battle with Aizen was largely fought alone. It doesn't mean he didn't have help, but he fought alone. He fought Ginjo alone, he fought Kilga alone, and it just goes on. Ichigo does not do 2v1s. He just doesn't do that, or at least he didn't flat out tag team an opponent until now. Only time I can remember Ichigo doing what I would consider tag teaming is when Ichigo and Renji both tried to fight Aizen on Shirgoku Hill after Aizen was revealed to be the bad guy. That would be the one example where Ichigo and Renji stand side by side, say, "You go, then I go," and they tag team Aizen. Aside from that, Ichigo just doesn't do 2v1s. He doesn't do tag team. But he willingly asks Orihime to watch his back and he fully trusts her to defend him. That is a very important moment in the characters of both Ichigo and Orihime, because Ichigo hasn't asked this of anyone in Bleach so far. He's the one always doing the protecting, and it's not that he doesn't believe that his comrades will defend him or whatever, he does, but that special moment where Ichigo Kurosaki asks for another to watch his back is something only Orihime can truly say, and I think that's beautiful. The battle between Ichigo and Yuha is glorious, and when Ichigo lunges in, Orihime continues to heal and defend him in the middle of battle. It's thrilling to see her work because in my mind, I think back to the times where you're playing an RPG type game and you don't quite know the worth of a healer class in a squad until you actually get a really good one who can turn the tide of the entire battle. That's what Orihime is to Ichigo, and that has and will always be her perfect role. Ichigo's battle with Yuha rages on, and Ichigo is lunging in without thinking. Orihime wants him to calm down and think things through. She grabs onto him and he stops for a moment and looks at her. She sees the look on his face and immediately lets him go, fully understanding that Ichigo must have a plan, and she fully deduces this based on a glance. Her intuition is correct as Ichigo continues to fight Yuha, and the moment his sword starts to turn white, he calls out to Orihime. He doesn't call out to say, "Orihime, defend me," or "Orihime, do this or do that." He simply calls out Inoue, and she instantly understands what she must do, creating a shield to protect him and her from Yuha's attack. And by the way, she has been defending and blocking attacks from Yuha Bach after he absorbed the Soul King. That is no small feat. You know, that's just by the way for those who care. After Ichigo activates his Horn of Salvation, she takes a step back to allow Ichigo to handle the battle himself. And after Yuha breaks Ichigo's Bankai, she tries her best to heal and defend Ichigo, but at that point, she's unable to parry Yuha's attack. The final role she plays in the war is the restoration of Ichigo's Bankai. She tried her best to restore his Bankai on her own, but it's not until Tsukishima comes in to help that she's fully able to repair Ichigo's Bankai, sending him off with minimal healing to fight Yuha for the last time. After Ichigo defeats Yuha, peace is restored and Orihime and Ichigo get married, having a son together named Kazue. She's grown into a charming, lovable mother who uses her Shinjin-rika to keep an eye on his whereabouts. And really, that's about it. That right there is the full scope of Orihime's redemption in the second part of Bleach. What we have in Orihime Inoue post Aizen War arc is a character redeemed. Kubo takes her back to her pre-Arrancar arc roots and reintegrates her into what made her special. That's not to say that I don't understand the importance of the character arc she went into during the whole Ulquiorra situation, but it's very clear that the Orihime during those times, while still her, is not the real Orihime. Orihime's true character is not one of gloom, doom, silence, and depression. She, like any other human, can struggle with those very human emotions. But the real Orihime is excitable, she's friendly, she's popular, she eats a crazy amount of foods of varying kinds, she loves to hang out with her friends, and she's comfortable not being a fighter, but still one who can contribute in her own unique ways. Kubo takes her back to those roots and brings out the best in her. He then adds in the battle components that she was missing. She sees herself as a healer, but one that is perfectly fine with inflicting pain onto those who would interfere with her process of healing. And the cherry on top of everything here is that Ichigo rewards her good work with giving her the responsibility of watching his back. The beauty of that statement by Ichigo is that Ichigo did not just say it just because. He went ahead to rely on Orihime as much as he could during his battle. It's not until he activates Horn of Salvation that he tells her to fall back, which she listens to and does. Orihime Inoue, after the height of her character at the beginning of Bleach, and after the descent into an Ichigo-like depression during the Arrancar arc, finally gets her deserved descent into her redemption, reminding us that at her true foundation, at her true core, Orihime is a beautiful, strong, faithful woman who is comfortable in her role as one of Ichigo's strongest support systems. Thank you guys for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. This is your boy Rebirth. Until the next video, peace.